Hello and welcome to math class. In today's video we are looking at practice 13. It's called multiples of fractions. So let's go ahead and give this page a title, and you will need item 12 from your memory piece kit to do this lesson. So multiples of fractions. And you may guess from this title that we are going to be multiplying today. We've spent a lot of time on adding and subtracting, and now we're shifting gears. Excuse me, my voice is going, I'm afraid. So item number 12 looks like this. There are 3 circles that are cut into fourths, and we need this piece for this lesson. The first thing that we need to do is to color, and you can use just your regular pencil if you don't have colored pencils, or highlighters is fine. Color in 2/4 or 1/2 of this circle. And then I want you to do the same for this circle. And then one more time, the same for this one. So we are making these identical circles. That's what multiples are. Multiples are repeated copies of the same thing. So there are 3 of these circles, and each of them is colored with 2/4 yellow, or whatever color you're using. So here is the example that I want to show you. Looking at this picture, let's set up a multiplication problem that illustrates or defines this picture. We have 2/4, that's 1/4 and 1/4, and we have that 3 times. Okay, so there is the mathematical representation of this picture. 2/4, and we're copying it 3 times. This is the number of copies, and this is what you have in one circle. Okay, so you and I have to learn how to multiply fractions. And in this case, we're multiplying a fraction times a whole number. So here's what we need to do. I'm going to rewrite this problem so that my 3 is up here. And I want you to go ahead and put what I call a ghost 1 under there. That ghost 1 does not change the value of the problem at all. It just helps me to see clearly where the numerators are and where the denominators are. So you will hear me refer to this as the ghost 1 because it floats in there and it floats away and it doesn't change anything. It just helps me to organize my problem. So I'm going to put a ghost 1 under the whole number. And in this case, the whole number is the 3. So then I have a problem that looks like this. 2/4 times 3 over 1. So we are going to multiply the numerators. That's the top number. 2 times 3 is 6. And this is the new part. In the last set of problems we did, adding and subtracting, we kept the denominator. But in this case, we're making copies. So we can't just leave the denominator alone. We have to multiply that also. So 4 times 1 is 4. So let's see if that matches up with what I have. 6/4. It sure does. If you count all the yellow fourths, there are 6 of them. So 6/4 makes sense with what I'm seeing. There are 6 yellow pieces and they're each cut into fourths. But we need to simplify because remember, we don't leave a fraction as an improper fraction. So that is to QRD. We have to say 6/4 equals 6 divided by 4. That's 1 2/4. So first step to simplify this is to QRD it, and you get 1 2/4. So we have to QRD. We also have to reduce because 2/4 can simplify. It's not lowest terms. So let's bring it on down to lowest terms. And that is going to be 1/2. So my final answer to this big mess is 1 1/2. Let's go back up here and put it right here. 1 1/2 is what we are looking for. Okay, this will get easier with practice, I promise. We just need to practice a lot. Alright, let's do an example without a picture, because most of the time in real life you're not going to have the picture. Let's suppose that I am making cookies for Christmas, and in each recipe I need 1/3 a cup of butter, and I'm making 4 batches of cookies. So 1/3 times 4. How much butter am I going to need? So let's rewrite and put the 1 underneath the whole number. It needs a bottom, it has a top, and the 4 will always go on the top. Alright, so then you do top times top, that's 4, and bottom times bottom is 3. We need to simplify. We can't leave it top heavy. So this is a QRD. I can already tell you the divisor. You can do this in your head. If you can do that, that's perfectly fine. 3 into 4 goes 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3, and there's 1 left over. So I need 1 1/3 cups of butter for this recipe. Okay, let's do some more examples. I am going to show you how to do this on your calculator if you have the calculator, but we're working on showing you how to do it without a calculator first. So here's another example. Let's suppose that I am teaching a preschool class, and in the preschool class each kid gets 2/3 a cup of finger paint. So everybody gets a little container and it has 2/3 of a cup. I've got 7 kids in my class. So to multiply this, we're going to say 2/3 times 7/1. You can only use a 1. If you use any other number there, you will change the value of the 7. You will either increase or decrease the number of kids, and we don't want to do that. So 2 7s are 14. 3 times 1 is 3. I can't leave that top heavy like that, so let's do 14 times 3. 3 into 14 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12, with 2 left over. So I'm going to need to buy or make 4 and 2/3 cups of finger paint to have enough to share that paint equally among all those kids. Sometimes it really helps me to put a story with my problem. Helps me to understand what's happening. It also helps me to be in the story. If I'm one of the participants in the story, for me sometimes that helps the problem to make sense. Okay, in this one, I am making face masks. We're in the COVID crisis right now, and I need 1/8 of a yard of fabric to make a face mask. And I need to do that for 5 people in my family. So I'm going to make 5 of these face masks. So I have 1/8 times 5/1, top times top, bottom times bottom, and there's my answer. I don't have to QRD. Why? Why don't I have to QRD this time? Because the fraction, the answer, is a proper fraction. You only QRD when it's an improper fraction. You see why those terms are so incredibly important. If you don't know what the terms mean, you don't know what to do mathematically. So those flashcards may be the most important thing that I've given you, but you must practice those. So the answer to this one is 5/8 of a yard of fabric, if you follow my story. Okay, one more, and then I will show you how to do this one on the calculator. Or we may be able to fit 2 more in here. In this story, the fraction is 8/10. So maybe I walked, or let's say I ran. I can pretty easily walk 8/10 of a mile, but running it is a challenge. So I ran 8/10 of a mile on Monday. And then I repeated that 5 times. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And by the weekend, I had to take a break. Okay, so I ran 8/10 of a mile every day for 5 days. So we're going to multiply 8/10 times 5/1. Now there is a shortcut to this one. I'm not going to show you today because I don't, or in this video, because I don't want to put too much on you. But later I'm going to show you how to make this problem a little bit shorter. If you already know the shortcut, that's why I even mentioned it. If you already know the shortcut, you can use it here, but I will explain it in another video. So 8 times 5 is 40. 10 times 1 is 10. So we need to, you can use the shortcut I have already taught you, and that's knocking off those zeros if you want to do that. But let me follow the QRD method because I do want to show you something here. So 10 into 40 goes 4 times, and there is no remainder. In other words, the remainder is 0. So when you QRD, nothing changes. We're just setting it up exactly how we always have. 4 with no fraction. So the answer is just 4. You don't put 0/10 because that's nothing. There's nothing to put. So I ran a total of 4 miles in this week. Okay, let's say that I am making fruit salad for lunch. My friends are coming over. And for each serving of fruit salad, I need 5/6 of a cup of grapefruit. 5/6 makes 1 serving. And I have invited 6 friends to come. So 5/6 times 6. How much grapefruit am I going to need? So I'm going to put a 1 under the 6 and then multiply. Again, if you know the shortcut, you can use it. This is a good one to use it on. 5 times 6 is 30, and 6 times 1 is 6. And then QRD this one. Six into 30 is 5 times with no remainder. So when you set up the QRD box, you have another 0 in your remainder section, and so that takes away the fraction. There are 0/6 left. So I'm going to need 5 whole grapefruits. And I apologize if you heard that funny sound. That's my cell phone reminding me to do something, and I don't know what it is. Okay, so 5 whole grapefruit would serve my friends for fruit salad. Let's put this one into the Casio calculator. I need to be sure that you know how to do that. And here we go. Let me draw some buttons. I do the buttons so these numbers don't get lost in your problem. Also so that you know if you're flipping back through your notes what you need to practice for calculator. Anytime you see one of these examples, pull out the calculator and work it. So we have all clear. 5 ABC 6 multiplied by 6, and then don't forget the last button should always be equals. And let me find my calculator and do that just to make sure. I know the answer's right, but I need to be sure I've given you the calculator steps right. 5 ABC 6 times 6 is 5, yes. Sometimes if I'm writing those from memory, I forget and mess up. But these are the keystrokes for the Casio FX260, which is the calculator that you can ask for on the HiSet. Okay, so you have learned how to multiply fractions, the very basics of that. There is a workbook page for this one, or 2 pages, workbook lesson. And let me see which one it is. It is practice 13. So if you do those problems and then watch the video, we will go over those and you will be an expert on this skill. Our next lesson video that I will do with you is about multiplying 2 fractions together. So I will see you soon for that one. Have a great day.